Every morning, I would step onto my balcony and watch the birds flying past. At first, I never thought much about them. They were simply part of the morning scenery. But after seeing the same visitors again and again, I started recognizing their little routines. Kookaburras would sit on the railing and quietly watch me. Pink parrots appeared nearby, while magpies often arrived together. By evening, the kookaburras would return, filling the balcony with familiar sounds. But one bird slowly became different from all the others. He was a bright red parrot who watched me from a eucalyptus tree. Every morning, he seemed to choose almost the same spot, staring toward my balcony. He was curious, but he was cautious too. For several days, he stayed at a distance, almost as if he were trying to decide whether I was safe. Then one morning, he finally flew over. He landed directly in front of the window and looked at me for several seconds. Then he suddenly jumped onto my shoulder. I was completely surprised. That little bird had made the decision to come closer, and more importantly, he had decided to trust me. I named him Rupert. From that day forward, Rupert's visits became something I genuinely looked forward to. He was brave, curious, and incredibly funny. What made him especially entertaining was the way he moved around the balcony. Rupert seemed to prefer walking rather than flying whenever he was nearby. He would slowly step along the railing, examining everything around him. Sometimes he walked across the balcony and stopped to inspect tiny things that caught his attention. It was almost like watching a little explorer discovering a new world. But Rupert wasn't alone. There was almost always another parrot somewhere nearby. Her name was Greta. Greta was much more cautious than Rupert. She never came close enough to sit on my shoulder, but she always stayed within sight. She seemed to be watching everything carefully. The two parrots were clearly very close. They would fly toward each other, gently touch beaks, play for a moment, and then suddenly fly apart. Sometimes they disappeared together among the trees. But whenever I stepped outside, Rupert often returned, and not long after, Greta would appear too. Watching them together became one of the peaceful parts of my mornings. Of course, Rupert didn't visit every day. Some mornings I would step outside and immediately look toward the eucalyptus tree, but it would be empty. I would wonder where Rupert and Greta were and imagine them exploring somewhere far beyond my view. I missed seeing him, but I knew he had his own life. He was wild, he was free, and he could go wherever he wanted. Whenever he eventually returned, that made the moment feel even more special. Sometimes I would hear a familiar sound before I saw him. I would look up and find Rupert nearby, almost as if he were saying hello before landing. Other days, he stayed only a few minutes. Sometimes he stayed much longer, walking around the balcony and watching everything happening around him. Those quiet visits slowly became some of my favorite memories. Over time, I started paying closer attention to all the birds that visited. Each one had different habits, different personalities, and different routines. My balcony had become a tiny window into the natural world, and Rupert had taught me to actually stop and watch. Nature doesn't always need to give us something spectacular. Sometimes a quiet bird sitting on a railing is enough. Sometimes two parrots playing together in the trees can make an ordinary morning feel beautiful. And sometimes a wild animal choosing to trust you can create a memory that stays with you for years. Rupert was never my pet. I never wanted him to be. He had his freedom, and I wanted him to keep it. He could leave whenever he wanted and return whenever he chose. That was exactly what made our connection so special. Rupert didn't visit because he had to. He came because he wanted to. Every time he landed on the balcony, he brought a little happiness with him. He made ordinary mornings feel different and reminded me to slow down and appreciate what was happening right in front of me. I feel incredibly lucky that a little red parrot chose to become part of my daily life. His visits were simple, but they changed the way I looked at nature. Rupert taught me that friendship doesn't always need words. Sometimes it begins with curiosity, then comes trust, and eventually a wild creature can become an unforgettable part of your life without ever truly belonging to you. Sometimes the smallest visitors leave the biggest memories, and for me, that visitor will always be Rupert. If Rupert's story